Hi, my name is Angela Antony, and I'm the CEO at Scoutible. Scoutible is a mobile game-based hiring platform, and I'm here to talk to you about how we help companies build world-class teams. In the US, 46% of hires fail. I spent 9 years at Harvard studying psychology, law, and business to unpack this problem, and it boils down to the fact that everyone, both candidates and employers, are making decisions based on the wrong data. On the candidate side, 80% of jobs aren't even advertised, so candidates never fully know their opportunity set. And on the company side, 89% of turnover is actually due to soft skill mismatch, not hard skills, yet only hard skills that can be measured, such as number of years of work experience, are even listed on a resume. Well, can soft skills be measured? Yes, and in fact, one measurement of soft skills, cognitive assessments, are the single most accurate predictors of job performance across the board. These tests predict job success 2 times better than interviews, 3 times better than work experience, and 4 times better than education level, yet no one is using them. And why is that? Well, these tests are long and grueling, they're expensive, and they can take days or weeks to administer and get back results. And that's where we come in. Meet Scoutible. In just 20 minutes, our science-based mobile games measure and quantify soft skills to match perfect fit candidates to top jobs. So how does it work? Well, let's walk you through a real business example. So a growing company, say Cloudco, is looking to hire top salespeople. This is Cloudco's current sales team, whose performance all varies significantly. But if we look at their actual sales metrics, Aydin is their clear top performer, and Cloudco wants more people like him, so they partner with Scoutible. In just 20 minutes, the team plays our game, and we uncover each person's unique strengths. Let's take a look at what they see when they play. Our game storylines are designed to distill meaningful traits to the players' in-game behaviors. In this King's Quest, we're measuring things like emotional intelligence and assertiveness. In the Lava Cave, we're measuring things like working memory capacity, pattern recognition, and risk tolerance, just to name a few. And after playing, each person gets their cognitive profile, which looks something like this. But on the back end, we can then identify the specific traits that distinguish Aydin from the rest. And finally, we take that predictive model based off of Aydin and cross-reference it against everyone on our platform who's played the game. We can then identify the talent who is most likely to perform like Aydin on the job. So we've told you how Scoutible works, but now I'm sure you're wondering, does Scoutible work? Well, this month we completed the enterprise version of our game to allow us to conduct our first large-scale pilots. Those pilots are still underway, but already our first look results have been pretty remarkable. So after someone plays Scoutable's game, on average, we're able to predict that person's Facebook friend count within 10%, which is a proxy for social engagement, their job success scores on a freelancing site like Upwork within 5%, their 5-star customer ratings within 1%. That is within 1/10 of 1 star. And if we predict how many messages that user voluntarily sends friends and family per day, on average, we're off by less than 1 message per day. So who's behind Scoutible? Well, in addition to our 7-person team of PhDs and engineers from Stanford, Harvard, and top gaming studios, we have a number of active advisors, including Mark Cuban, who's our lead investor, and Joel Poloni, who's our technical advisor and one of the co-founders of Farmville. So we hope you too will join Team Scoutible. Thank you.
All right, good job, Scoutible judges.
How many profiles do you have?
How many profiles?
So how many archetypes are you trying to create out of your?
Well, we create archetypes for each role that we're hiring for. So for large enterprises, if they're hiring for a sales role, we examine the sales team of that company and identify which traits predict performance along their KPIs. For other roles, it's different. For large law firms or consulting firms, it might be time to promotion, it might be tenure. There's other KPIs that might be indicative for that role. But we build them specific to the context that we're hiring for.
And so in a large company, sometimes you want different types of people, some diversity of like archetype A may be very good with client A, but archetype B is much better with client B, and archetype C is much better with client C. How do you get that out of the system because they may not be able to express that themselves.
Sure. So what we build the models for is to predict the certain outcome metric that the company wants. So if it is in sales, for example, if they want to maximize gross sales, we'll create a model that predicts that. If it's some level of customer satisfaction for the kinds of consumers, the kinds of contexts you're talking about, and that would be a different metric that company wants to optimize, we would use that to create the model instead.
What if the top salesperson happens to be
gamer.
really good? Yeah, it's going to go either terrible gamer or really good at games, and then you want that, and you can't find it because nobody's that good at gaming.
Sure.
Or that nobody's that bad at gaming.
Sure. So we calibrate all of the games to each player's, not just the top performers. Anyone who plays our games, we calibrate it to their level of comfort with games as well as their just natural physical dexterity with their phones. That's something that we have to do to ensure that the data is clean and measuring what we purport to measure. So there's no effect from not being comfortable with games, even among our target demographic, younger demographics. Some people just don't play games on their phone, and that does not confound the results at all.
How do you charge customers? Assume it's a SaaS model?
So we have two models. One, if we're helping companies filter among the candidates that are applying for a role, it's a SaaS subscription model. But we also have a sourcing model where we can bring a company candidates who are a top match for the roles that they're hiring for, who may have never heard about the role or would have never applied. And when we do that, it's a sourcing fee.
Okay.
So Myers-Briggs has been trying to do this for a long time, this kind of thing. Why is this going to be any better or worse? You've got to sort of break into this market, and Myers-Briggs has been more interesting for academics than it has for corporate. So I don't know, has this become a big market?
Absolutely. Well, one of the failures of every assessment that exists is that they basically they're a prediction tool. They say, hey, here's a person, here's where we think that they will perform well. We actually use our data science to analyze the existing top performers at a company, the demonstrated traits and the demonstrated cognitive and psychological qualities that have produced results that the company wants. We benchmark that. Indexing different roles at different companies on these traits is something that's never been done before that we're doing for the first time.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank
Good
you.
job, Scoutible.